Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hoping you have a fantastic day. Quick look here again at Solana, seeing what we can do to analyze this chart here. This is a very, very ugly chart. Solana's been super weak for quite some time. We saw a little bit of strength yesterday, but unfortunately that didn't hold. That was more of a dead cat bounce. So we can presume here that that level that price action rejected out, about 176, is going to be a new resistance level for us. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say new, it already has reaffirmed itself, but generally speaking, we can kind of confirm that that is definitely a level there. So let's quickly double check some liquidation on the back end. And while we get this loading here, just want to say thank you so much for the awesome feedback I've been receiving from my community. I'm glad you all were able to kind of close out of that trade a little early. I know it definitely looked pretty weak there. And, I held my position open just because it's low level, low position size, low leverage. I didn't really use a lot in that trade. And honestly, stop losses are a very normal thing in trading. So please recognize it's actually your friend. It helps you mitigate losses and maximize your gains because, again, if you work with any risk tolerance, it should never be a problem. Okay, so friendly advice there. Do not stress if this is a red trade for you, folks. It always comes back in the long run as long as you're trading responsibly. So I'm pulling up the monthly here. In liquidation, we can see there is still some liquidation down between about 161, 162. That's that lower level that almost got swept here today. The price went down perfectly to hit our most recent low at like 162.50. We'll look at that on the charts here in a minute, but I'm pulling up the big picture here just to let you know and kind of show you. This is how liquidity sweeps work, right? You see the price action gets swept, price recovers, comes back down to sweep new levels, recovered instantaneously. It continues to do that over and over and over again. This is just kind of trading 101. Manipulation is a very, very consistent thing in trading. So the sooner you get on board with that, the sooner you're going to be more successful and not be so deflated when things don't go your way. And that's okay. Honestly, we've had a tremendous amount of green in the last few months, and this month, honestly, it's been a little bit of a wash. We've taken profits, a lot of shorts here recently from late last month. But honestly, a lot of longs this month here are not really working so well. So again, it's harder to find wins right now when you see such crazy volatility in the market. So I think the moral of the story here is to just ensure that you're not over leveraging and you're just using realistic amounts that you're comfortable with losing. I'd hate to say it that way, but that's generally how it's supposed to work. Because if you're not comfortable with taking a small loss once in a while to find other gains, then really the crypto probably isn't for you. Either way, again, just it's all good, folks. Try not to worry too much. I get a lot of people, kind of questioning how high is Solana going to go? How low is it going to go? Truth is, we keep retesting this lower range here, and it's not looking pretty. I mean, right now we're trying to recover back to that recent low, but it's not really looking so great. So let's just discuss what we have here so far. We're still below the 20-day SMA. We talked about that previously. We have now officially been below 50 on the RSI for 2 days now. That's generally a bearish sign. Stochastic swinging down. Money flow index still moderately high, but that's again the daily time frame. But the thing that concerns me the most here is that we have very low volume between 148 and roughly 169, just say 170. So 148 to 170 is that area there that we have very, very, very little knowledge of what the price action should be. In other words, there's some fair value gaps here that need to be filled. That's a simple way to understand it. Having said that, though, MACD is still diverging. There's really no reason to take a long position right now until the price action breaks back above the descending trend line. Okay, but we're a ways away from that. So to quickly double check here, the 4-hour time frame. A lot of times you'll see the price action try to bounce or recover when we get close to this lower range here. So keep in mind, we could very well see a relief rally. We might even be seeing that right now where the price recovered up to that 170 and just got rejected. But the truth is, when we're low like this, it's generally not favorable to consider a long position. However, you can have some success buying the dip when the price action hits 30 on the RSI, for example. A lot of times prices are so oversold that it just has to recover for a little bit. Again, I'm more so speaking to day traders there, not necessarily to take a swing trade to the moon. You don't do that from now. But generally speaking, if you're to get in, just say you got into that low 160 mark, then you're probably in profit right now, and that's all well and good. But you had to have been watching the market at that exact time, and it does take a little bit of patience and make sure that you're diligent. So me personally, I don't like to sit there in front of the charts all day, so that's not my thing. But if you had done that, just friendly advice: buying the dip where 30 on the RSI bounces off of the 4-hour time frame. That is essentially a good place to consider a long. Okay, I think that window of opportunity is already passed though. Either way, we're getting overextended to the downside. So it would make sense for the price action to recover a little bit, but keep in mind we're probably going to see something very similar to this until it can establish itself above this trend line. Okay, so again, it might look good and nice when you zoom in really close and all that, but this is not a good chart, folks. Solana is still looking very bearish and very weak. So I'm actually happy that we got stopped out just so we don't have to worry about it, because honestly it's one of those things that you kind of got to push yourself through it and recognize that those can be actually favorable. A lot of times when I set my stop loss too, by the way, they're at invalidation levels. So the likelihood of the price action recovering from here is fairly low, considering the fact that we've had a lot of difficulty getting below this level here at about 169, 170. Now that we're below that, it'll likely work as a resistance level. Okay, so I'm not saying you should just necessarily short this coin right now, but I am saying statistically you have a better probability of taking a short than a long right now, just the way the market is working. But once more, I prefer not to short if I don't have to, just because they do carry more risk. So again, it just depends on how you look at it. We'll update our fibs later, of course, once we have a candlestick closure here for today. But for the moment, we are definitely in this lower range. And just to clarify this range here, I drew that out as basically this lower, the candlestick close on the daily, as well as a candle wicks on the daily. So 162.50, look at how perfect that is. Price action wicks down there exactly to that lowest level. Okay, so again, that would have been a perfect dip to buy. Hindsight's 2020, but setting a limit order at that level is a good consideration for filling your spot bag. But at this point here, I would just hesitate and be patient, wait a little bit. I don't think we're out of the woods just yet. Quickly to note, we're below all indications here on the Ichimoku cloud, letting us know that there's no reason to consider a long position. So pump the brakes, folks. It's all good. Just make sure if you're in a long position, you consider securing. I wouldn't say securing profits, because that's probably not the case. I would say just make sure that you adjust your stop loss to your risk tolerance and ensure that you're working within that. But again, this is not the end of the world, folks. This is one trade. There's plenty of other good opportunities out there. Try not to get so blindsided or focused on just one coin. While Solana is a lot of fun and it's definitely been well to us over the months here, it's natural for the price to pull back, especially when Bitcoin has a lot of indecisiveness right now, and Bitcoin is not looking pretty. Okay, we still got to break this descending trend line and to have any legs to stand on. So I think it's premature here, folks. Anyways, I'm sorry, I meant to make this really quick and I made it long. I'm sorry. I have a tendency of running on with advice. So hypothetically, at this point, if you're in a position, I would just say consider cutting your losses, but also if you can handle it and you've used good risk tolerance with low leverage, low position sizing, you shouldn't be worried about it. All right, folks. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Reach out. Feel free. I'm available on Discord, Telegram, or Twitter. I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.